Okay, welcome everybody. Personal finance here. We'll get rolling. First thing we have here, just make sure remember this is being recorded, and as we're going through the lesson, make sure you're following along with the Nearpod, which I just put the link in the chat, so you can jump on there. Use the chat tools respectfully and appropriately, and then also respond to questions and instructions the first time. Today, what we're going to do, we're going to go over a very interesting topic. I enjoy this topic a lot. I don't know why. This maybe because it's kind of interesting. There's a lot of books and stuff that were kind of written on it, which we'll talk about some of those. But identity theft and consumer protection. So ways to kind of protect you against that, and then also schemes and scams, right? We don't want to get hit up by those, and who knows? Maybe I might be a sucker one of those days. Anyways, if we go to the course real quick, remember all the recordings are right here on the first page, so you can find them just as you log in. If you go to the course plan, you'll see that we have live class today. You'll have modules 11 and 12, and then we won't have a class next week, so this is the last class. We'll have this module 13, 14, 15. Last day to turn anything in is the 18th. Okay. So just know that end of the block is coming up and you need to get ready for that. As I said, 11 and 12 are due this week. And then the week after that is just the rest of the week where we're going to be where it has about, consumer protection and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I'm kind of sharing that right now. And that's really kind of where we are. So let's kind of get going. So what's the lesson objective is given a quiz in the OLS, students will accurately answer multiple choice questions with about financial schemes and scams with 80% accuracy across one trial. So some things to consider when you're on here, you got to think about what consumer. So consumer is somebody that buys something, right? So think about it just kind of like food a little bit. So if I go to a fast food restaurant, I buy some food, I'm consuming it, right? Same with any type of other product. If I buy a cell phone, I'm a consumer, right? I'm consuming that product, not literally eating it, but you're kind of consuming it. So that's what we mean by consumer. If I go and I purchase anything, I'm a consumer. So you have rights, but then you also have responsibilities to be smart and work out there. Okay, what is the purpose of a consumer protection law and agencies? We have different agencies set up in the United States that will do it. Outside the country, it's kind of the wild, wild west a little bit. You gotta be careful, right? Next one, how can I avoid identity theft and fraud? So we'll kind of talk about that. And how can you understand financial contracts, and why are there, and what are the ways to avoid financial scams? So what is fraud? Fraud is a deliberate, deceptive, designed to secure unlawful or unfair gain. Okay. So they're looking to try to get mostly sometimes a monetary kind of compensation from you. And they can do this in all types of different ways of the way you find loopholes, all kinds of stuff. So one of the big thing is like identity theft. You've probably heard that quite a bit. Make sure that you're keeping your social security number, names, addresses, birth dates, mother's maiden names, PIN numbers, passwords, all secure. I'm sure mine are vulnerable, like everybody's is, but you got to kind of do your best to kind of keep those secure as you can. So one of my favorite movies is in regards to somebody that in the 1950s, and there's this movie that was created about called Catch Me If You Can. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but there's a book written about it. There's actually a play. My niece was in a play in regards to it, but it's about a man named Frank Abagnale Jr. It was a true story. He was 16 years old, ran away from home, and he started fraudulently writing checks, and he became an identity thief. weirdly specific. What's your mom's maiden name? What's your pet's name? Yeah, they probably don't want to tell people those questions, right? Yeah. Good point there, Aaron. So on the movie, it's really interesting. He pretends to be a pilot. He pretends to be a doctor. He pretends to be a lawyer. Pretends to be all kinds of different things. So this is kind of a little bit about the movie. It is PG-13, so I mean, I'm just showing a little preview of it. But if you guys are parents let you watch it, it's kind of an interesting one to kind of reinforce what identity theft would kind of look like and what this guy did. So it's kind of interesting. So we'll play that real quick and then we'll discuss moving forward.
Hello.
Hi. Are you deadheading?
What?
Are you my deadhead to Miami?
What? Yes. Yeah, I'm the deadhead. Here we go.
You're a little late, but the jump seat is open.
You know, it's been a while since I've done this. Which one's the jump seat again?
Have a nice flight.
Are you my deadhead? Frank, Captain Oliver, John Larkin, the co-pilot, Fred Telly, flight engineer.
Frank Taylor, Pan Am. Thanks for giving me a lift, boys.
Go ahead and take a seat, Frank. We're about to push. What kind of equipment you on? DC-8?
707.
You turning around on the red eye?
I'm jumping puddles for the next few months, trying to earn my keep running leapfrogs for the weak and weary.
No shame in that. We all did it.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
Would you like a drink after takeoff?
Milk?
80 knots. Check. D1, rotate. D2, positive rate.
All right. So that's a little bit about that movie, how he pretended to be a pilot. And anyways, it said he forged millions and millions of dollars in checks and stuff like that. So the FBI finally caught up to him. So interesting story, but kind of tells you a little bit about identity theft. And now, after he got out of prison, of course, because he went to prison, he actually was a consultant for the FBI about identity theft and how to stay safe. So, so who pretended? His name was Frank Abagnale Jr. There's a book and a movie and actually a play called Catch Me If You Can. So if you ever want to go see it, there's a musical, there's a thing, but it's just like this. I'll write it in the chat. Catch Me If You Can. So if you look that up, really good book, that kind of stuff. Yeah, he impersonated a doctor. He wasn't actually a surgeon, but he never like worked on anybody. He was never an actual surgeon or anything like that. That's the thing. He never actually did the work, which is kind of interesting, which is good too, because you don't want somebody that's never done anything to do that. But okay, so your consumer rights and responsibilities. Okay, so one, you have the right to be safe, right? To be informed, to be able to choose a product that you want, to be able to be heard. Some things that you need to be responsible for is you need to be doing things safely, right? You have to use the information to make decisions, to choose goods and services carefully, and to speak up, and let your likes and dislikes be known. So I think with the internet, that's made it more things where certain things that aren't that great for you, we don't do them anymore because, hey, we got reviews, right? And they just don't get sold. Some places that do protect you, government agencies, the FDA, which stands for the Food and Drug Administration, Consumer of Safety Commission, Federal Trade Commission, Better Business Bureau, the Bureau of Consumer Protection, and then consumer unions. All of these kind of things go in there. Yeah, so the FBI and CIA, they're the ones that would basically protect you. Like, I mean, FBI is national, CIA is world, right? To protect the interests of the United States. But these ones are to protect consumers specifically. Okay. So if you kind of go into banks or theirs, you notice things that'll be like FDIC or NCUA. That basically means that your money is insured in your bank accounts up to $250,000 per person that's on the account. They have that because, National Credit Union Administration. But that's backed by the federal government, just so people are not worried. I mean, I don't know if you've ever had, well, I've had personally, or maybe you've had parents or heard somebody that my credit card was taken and like fraudulent things was ran on the credit card. And that's why I actually use credit cards, is because of that zero liability policy is what it's called. And then I can just tell my credit card, hey, I didn't do that. Take it off my bill. And then the credit card company is kind of liable for that. But if I use a debit card that's directly linked to my checking account, and they take that out of there, it's a lot longer process, but it is insured eventually. Okay, so some things you should probably do: monitor your credit, don't give out personal information to unknown companies, protect your credit and debit cards, protect your mailbox, your wallet, passwords, pins, put antivirus stuff on your computers, notify your bank when you change your address and phone numbers. Yeah, Dave Ramsey, I think he has a lot of good stuff. And paying cash for things, I guess, if you can. If people sometimes take cash. Yeah. Yeah, do not write down your social. That wouldn't be good. All right. So let's just do this little example, what you guys think about it, okay? So Bethany purchased a new pair of shoes from the internet. What steps should she take to ensure her identity was protected when making this purchase? Okay, so let's kind of think about this. For those that haven't been able to get into the Nearpod yet, you can do so to answer kind of this question. So I'll read it one more time. You guys are putting things up there. Bethany purchased a new pair of shoes from the internet. What steps should she take to ensure her identity was protected while making this purchase? Oh, can you guys not see it on the Nearpod? Let me go there and back. Hold on. Sorry for you guys that were writing. Hopefully that didn't delete anything. There we go. So somebody said, make sure the site is official. Yeah, so if you look up in the corner of the browser, like right here, it has like a security thing, a lock on it. That means they have some kind of what's called SSL thing on there. It just makes your website look more legitimate. I got websites without that on there, so it's not completely there. Oh, the S in means secure. Okay, in HTTPS. Okay, good to know. I did not know that. I learned something today. Thank you. All right, any other thoughts, guys? What else should you do? Should track her information. Okay, yeah. So they should send like a receipt at least, tracking information, stuff like that. Should make sure that it comes from a legitimate source, right? Yeah, just make sure those are all good that way. What are some other things? So you're paying online, right? So if you didn't want to use, you just wanted to use basically cash, right? or what you have in your bank account. You don't want to use credit cards. Maybe confirm with your credit union. Yeah, you could do that. They do have what's called prepaid cards. So if you're going to a site that maybe you're kind of worried about a little bit, you could go buy a prepaid card and put money on it. And then once you put money on it, you know that you can't go over a certain amount, which is nice, right? So that kind of helps you if you have a hard time not spending things, right? And then the other thing is they can only take so much of your money, right? It's not directly linked to your bank account in any way. So, from the credit union. Yeah, there's other things on there. As I said, I like to pay with credit cards, just because I said the zero liability policy. But there's also other ways to kind of protect yourself. Just do your research, maybe look at reviews, make sure things are on the up and up. Okay, let's go to schemes and scams. So what this is, a fraudulent or deceptive scheme. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to watch another video real quick, and I think you'll find this one really interesting. What this is this is a show that's made in Britain, in the UK, and it's called The Real Hustle. And you have a lot of schemes and scams that go on there. Now, this is like not a technology one per se, but this is something that happened kind of in real life. And so what they do is they just basically show how people can do schemes and scams out there and nobody knows a difference. So I think you'll be very surprised on it. You can actually watch all these episodes on YouTube. They have some very interesting ones, but I'll have you watch this one because I think you'll be shocked at what happens.
Jess is in a busy shopping centre promoting a new left luggage facility. And for a limited time only, these lockers are completely free. This is the lockup. With so many people weighed down by bags, it's not long before Jess finds someone to make use of this great offer.
Yeah, so you got quite a few bags with you today. Would you like to use one of our free lockers? You can have one each. Yeah, you're welcome. Put your stuff in there. I don't know if you can shove it all in one, or I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you 2 lockers. There's yours. Thank you. And one for you. There you go. Just make sure you're back before 9.
And the other lockers also start filling up. That's a bag of shopping and a backpack.
I'll put all in there. Thank you very much.
That's another bag locked up perfectly safe and secure, not in any danger at all of being stolen by unscrupulous hustlers. 2 hours later, the customers start coming back. But instead of finding Jess, they're faced with a big empty space where the lockers and their bags used to be. They head into a nearby shop to ask if they've seen 40 metal lockers vanishing into thin air. And they're not the only ones wondering where all their belongings have gone. Let's take a look at what they didn't see.
Just here.
This was the mall earlier in the day.
Why don't you go just there?
You think so?
Uh-huh.
That'd be nice, yeah. Come on, someone might steal them.
In a matter of minutes, this empty corner of the shopping centre was transformed into the hustlers' left luggage facility.
All right, cup of tea. Bye-bye.
Once Jess had collected as many bags, rucksacks and carriers as she could,
Do you want 2 of them?
it was time to call back the hired muscle.
Ooh, heavy.
And as quickly as the seemingly permanent lockers appeared, they were gone. And along with all those bags, went into the back of the hustler's van, never to be seen again.
There was a lady down there that was having some lockers there for anybody to put their bags inside. And basically my friend put her bag in there. And I was saying, no, I ain't putting my bag in there because I actually come here often. So I've never seen such a thing. So I thought, no way.
I think my passport's in there as well. So I really need my bag. I can't believe it. I really can't.
Hustlers are always looking for ways to separate you from your belongings, and there's nothing they like better than finding a way to get you to give them your stuff.
Anytime you have to leave your luggage in lockers, make sure you're using reputable facilities like at a train station and an airport. Of course, if you want to be sure about the safety of your belongings, the best way is to keep them with you at all times.
Whenever you're invited to part with your valuables, whether it's locking them away or depositing them somewhere, if there is something unfamiliar about what you're being asked to do, don't be afraid to double check. You know, if it means going to a shopping centre and saying, are these cabinets new? Are they okay? Then do so. Don't be embarrassed about it. It's your money, your goods, your valuables that you're parting with. So just be safe about it.
All right. So what do you think about that, guys? Yeah. So that's called The Real Hustle. Pretty interesting. You can find all those on YouTube. Pretty interesting. But there's different things, different ways. Like some of the things that we see are pyramid schemes, mostly financial kind of stuff. Hey, just give us this money and we'll do that. I talked to somebody, and I think he lost $60,000 or $70,000 or something like that from a little his was a Ponzi scheme that it was in. So a Ponzi scheme is basically what he did is he put the money in and he started getting big returns at first, right? But what they do in a Ponzi scheme is they take all this money and they take somebody else's money and give it back to these people to say, oh, this is legitimate, put some more money in. And then pretty soon everybody's putting all this money in. And then one day they just go, boom, shut it off and take off with the money. Okay. So little scary. You got to be careful there. There's things called infinity schemes, right? Where they target specific groups of people, such as the elderly. My grandma, when she was alive, she had somebody that would try to call her and say that they were her grandson and they were in jail and they needed to get out. And, she's like, well, why you call your mom? I can't, it's just not good. Right. Different people that maybe are not there, charitable people, all kinds of stuff. There's also things called like predatory lending. Okay. Where you have different places say they're going to give you money, and they do give you the money, but it's a super high interest rate. You can never pay it off, and you just go in farther and farther in debt, and then you owe more and more things. Okay, so you got to really look at some of that stuff. Here's some warning signs of maybe predatory lending real quick. Unreasonable high interest rates, multiple refinancing, an unnecessary debt consolidation, balloon payments, negative amortization, door-to-door solicitation, backdating of documents, larger loan broker fees, kickbacks to other lenders, single premium credit life. That doesn't ever happen. Okay. Common scams, advanced fee scams. So I had a friend, we went into this store and he was using his debit card, right? And I told you, I always use my credit card because I'm worried about the zero liability stuff. So I use my credit card, but he used his debit card. And on debit cards, they have an option for cash back. So they actually set up, I think, the thing that when you press no, it actually takes out another $20 in cash. And so I think what was happening, and he caught it luckily, which was good, right? But I bet you a lot of people don't catch it. What happens is they push the button and it says, hey, you get $20 cash back. The cashier grabs the $20, puts it underneath his till, right? He gets $20 cash and you're already out of there, right? Because you just bought a drink for $5 or, for $2. It ends up being $22 and you don't find that until later. And it said, hell, you did a cash out. If you know I didn't, right? Okay, prizes that cost you, online auction, fraudulent job. That's a good way to get certain money, if you go apply for a fraudulent job. Money-making schemes, bogus charities, school scams. School scams is interesting. I've been doing some research in that about fundraising and stuff like that. There's a lot of fundraising that goes on to some schools that the money doesn't end up where you think it ends up, right? So you got to be careful. How thieves work, they work on just skimming just a little bit off the top so you don't know things are coming, right? Dumpster diving, computer spyware, account redirection, phishing, farming, wireless hacking, stealing, shoulder surfing, okay? Social engineering, yep. Top ways to avoid it all. Don't become a victim. Investigate strangers who deals seem too good to be true, okay? Always stay in charge of your money. Don't be fooled by appearances. Watch for the people that prey on fears. Monitor your investments. Report fraud and abuse. Do your homework. Be wary of door-to-door solicitation. So, okay, guys. Well, that is it for today. Just to recap real quick, if you missed any lessons, the recordings will pop up right here on the announcement board. Live class, we got the modules 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Then you're done with the class. Make sure you do all of those and get them done. So stick around if you have any questions. If not, I'm going to shut off the recording and have a great day, guys. Appreciate it.